a therapy session, dealing with pain and obsession. Why do we lie? Why do we try to hide everything until the day we die? Welcome back to Therapy Session. Today I have with me Chibuike.
Thank you very much.
Today we are in a tight spot. We're in the studio of Ali because there's still a rehearsal in the front. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for Chibuike. Such a cool name. Where does it come from?
So basically, it's I'm from Nigeria, the eastern part of Nigeria. So the full version is Chibuike means God is my strength.
God is my strength.
God is my strength.
Nice,
exactly.
Okay.
So I prefer my friends to call me Chi because it's just more like a short version of the name.
Okay.
And also it's very easier for them to remember. And also to pronounce. I just make life easier for them and just to call me Chi. Because I've had a lot of situations where I tell people my name and they're just messing up the name, and I just say, just call me Chi. Chi is fine.
Chi is fine. Okay.
Yeah, man.
But I don't wanna forget it. I wanna just see as often as possible, so it's in my mind, because it's a cool name though.
Yeah, it is, man.
Chibuike.
Chibuike, yeah.
What's the full name?
Dialaekwe Chibuike.
Okay, then I was pronouncing that right, because like I was reading on your Instagram, and I was like, Dialaekwe. Is it? I thought it sounds African though.
Yeah, it's my last name.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's actually like a cultural name. Dialaekwe means like a head of a family, like a head of a house. You know what I mean?
Nice. Okay.
So back in the days, it's just, I think the mindset was the fact that in a family there is always one man that is kind of being respected by the family and all of that. So you dare not mess up with this particular man.
Okay.
It's just more like a hero. So basically, that's what that name actually signifies. It's
nice. Dialaekwe.
Yeah. It's respect.
Dialaekwe. Nice.
Yeah.
I like I love the African names. They all have meanings.
Yeah, they do. It's a thing back in my home, and it's just basically the fact that when you give birth to a child, you always give them a name that tells something. It could be like a story. It could mean a particular scenario that happened during the childbirth. Of, for instance, you could have families that probably for a very longer time they didn't give birth to a child, and when they finally give birth to a child, they try to give them a name that tells that at this certain period of time we needed this child to come.
Nice.
And finally he's here, and we have to give them this name that anybody hearing that will need that, okay, this happened, and that's why they had to like give this child a name. So there's always a meaning attached to every child, giving birth.
I grew up with a lot of friends from Africa, mostly from Congo, and also a few from Nigeria and other areas. And I've been to the ceremonies when they gave the name.
Exactly. It's a big thing, man.
It's always a big thing.
It is.
And also when they went to church and to like
dedication.
I was always attending these things.
Yeah.
So I really loved it. I miss it though, because here in Berlin I nearly have no friends from Africa. It's just. But the first time that I met you, it was like I've been knowing you for a long while. Like that's how I felt.
Exactly. I mean, like you mentioned, naming ceremony. It's similar to a wedding. Like it's a big occasion altogether. Where you have to like invite friends and let them celebrate the joy of giving birth to a child, because giving birth in Africa is a big thing. I don't know about most African continent, but in my country, Nigeria, it's actually something very important to us, that when you give birth to a child, you have to celebrate this particular child. And that's why we kind of engage this naming ceremony for people to come around and, have shared these moments with you and your family. And so it's really important for us.
Yeah, it's also a beautiful thing though.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is.
And for me, like growing up with this culture, I was much more invested in the Black culture than mine. So my father at some point was like, where are you actually from now?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I always appreciated to be a part of it. And like I had a best friend, unfortunately they had to leave the country, but I mostly grew up with him. like the same school, the same class, and
Mm.
we hung out every day together, and it was just so fun to be with him all the time and
Wow.
have the African food and the style and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
I really miss that time.
Where was he from?
He was from Congo.
Oh, Congo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Don't ask me about the rest though. But
Yeah.
mostly I was hanging around with them,
Yeah.
and that's what I remember the best.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, the food and everything is something very important to us.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
Yeah, I could remember when I came to Berlin. It took me a while for me to get used to the food. Basically
The seasoning is different. Though.
Yeah, it took me a while for me to get used to the whole food of a thing, and I had to go to Google and check where I could get African restaurant around. And luckily for me, I was able to get one, even though very expensive. And the thing is, you wouldn't get the exact taste that you get back home in Nigeria,
Of
because
course.
some of these ingredients, they are being deported and there are restrictions to them as well. So, but it's kind of, in the scale of 100, you could just get like 80% of what you've always craved for. You know what I mean? So,
but they
there's
also
always-
adjusted to the European taste.
yeah,
That's the other
exactly,
thing.
exactly, yeah, exactly. But it will give you this sense of you having a taste of what you've longed for a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
It
of that
is.
topic, you cook by yourself?
Yeah,
At home?
I cook
Yeah.
all the time. I cook all the time, and there are a lot of African stores here in Berlin. But even though most of those items are very expensive, it's not something you go and buy all the time. You know what I mean? But you just have to buy them probably once in a while, maybe once in 2 months, or for instance, you just go and prepare those things. Basically. But like I said, you wouldn't get like 100% the ingredients like what you have back home, basically. But those are kind of something that could just make do of the meantime and give you an idea of what you want to prepare at that moment and the food that you actually, have in mind. And yeah,
Nice.
it works out. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you're alone in Berlin, right?
I am, man.
Yeah.
I am alone, and
So this
And,
goes
um,
out to the girls now.
yeah, I'm actually alone, and yeah, I can't complain about that, because there is also one thing to understand, that from where I come from, because I'll always make emphasis on that. Sorry about that.
Mhm,
I
go
would
ahead.
always make emphasis on the fact that it's about culture.
Mm.
It's about what you've been trained to become, because it's more like a thing that if you find yourself in a family, you're at some point you will be trained to live on your own self. You'll be trained to cater for yourself. You'll be trained to be a man as you are. Especially when you're a male child in the family, you're being given this mindset that at some point you're gonna be alone. You have your own family. You will have people that you have to care for, and you have to feed them at the same time. So at the age of 18 years, I think I've been hustling on my own self. I've been trying to like make money for myself, live my own life, have my own room, for instance, and not being directed on what to do. And it's totally normal, back home. And I get questions like, "Why are you alone in Berlin? Don't you feel back?" I was like, "No,
It's the
I know
most amazing
it's
feeling."
normal. Yeah, it's a normal feeling, right? It's a normal feeling, and yeah, sometimes of course you have to, meet home. You miss your family and all of that, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's
You
a part
know,
of life also to
yeah,
grow up and
exactly.
to be on
That's
your own
correct.
path.
That's correct. Yeah, the sense of independence is something that we're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the most amazing feeling.
it is, man. It is.
When I
It
was,
is.
I think 14, I told my parents I want to move out.
Oh wow.
They were like, "Hell no, you're not gonna move out." And then I was like, "Okay, but when the time comes and I can move out, I will just leave and go to a big city,
Wow.
and that I'm hours away from you guys."
Wow.
They're like, "Why? You don't love us?" I was like, "No, it's not about that. It's about just like doing things by my own.
That's correct.
It's a like
Mhm.
this is the best way to get to know yourself. Also,
That's it.
what you like in life, what you want to do, who you want to be. Because if you're surrounded by your family the whole time, like you said, you have a certain image of life and a certain programming that you might think this is what you actually want to do, which is not.
Exactly.
Okay, so when did you move to Germany, to Berlin?
So I moved in Berlin in 2022. Like technically, I think I'm almost getting 3 years right now in Berlin. And I mean, for my studies as well. I am having my master's currently.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having my master's. And
what is it that you study?
European Business Management.
Nice.
Yeah. So I moved here, like I mentioned, for my studies, and yeah, it's been like it's been like a step, and it's in layers, like one layer to the point and all of that. And so far, so good. The experience has been nice because I mean, I get a lot of people asking me like, "How's it like you living in Berlin? Like, are you experiencing any sort of racism or whatever?" And I tell them it's about the people you surround yourself with,
Definitely,
and the experience, you know.
Yeah.
And I was kind of lucky enough to get myself surrounded by nice people, you know, because yeah, usually there's a stereotype that when you come to Berlin, it's always very hard for you to find your way around the city and you know, meet people that will be so nice to you, especially when you're somebody of a color and all of that. But in my own case, it was kind of different because I did live to experience that, you know, at some point. But
beautiful.
yeah, it's been so nice. It's been a good experience for me.
So how did you connect to people? What did you do?
So first of all, I play bass. I'm a bass player. You know, that's one of the things that made it very easier for me to connect with people. And let me give you an instance. First of all, I found a church.
Okay.
Yeah, I found a church and
like black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of mixed actually. It's not really only black actually. So it's a church and I'm a church boy. I grew up in church.
Nice,
I learned how to play bass in church, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I went there, I started connecting with them and started playing and making friends and all of that. And also I think I also I was able to know about DNA last year.
Okay.
It was just a funny experience. I could remember vividly that I was just bored at home a particular day, and it was during summer last year actually. I was really bored at home. I didn't have anything to do at home. I was just like, oh my God, my life is fucked. I need to go out there and
get to know people and do stuff.
Just take a walk around. And prior to this moment, I don't know anybody. I just knew few artists actually in Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just walking past Warschauer Straße.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I saw what's her name again? My God, Emmanuel, Vibe King, and Daniela, and
standing in the front,
yes,
passing the flyers and stuff.
Exactly. Okay. So they were there, like inviting people over there, come and see what's happening, and there's a show happening inside DNA that it's called DNA. Come and have a look. I was like, okay, what's it all about? Like, how much is it? Like, what's the gate fee? And they said it's just €5. And at that moment, I had nothing in me. I just had my card. I said, okay, can I pay with my card? I was because they said no, you need to pay with cash. So I quickly went to the ATM and I told them I was going to come back, but they didn't believe me. They was thinking, yeah, of course, yeah.
So many people say.
Exactly. So I just came back, and that was the whole story. I felt really relaxed. I felt really happy because this is something that I do. This is something that I love to do, and I was able to meet the right people. You know, I jumped on the stage, I played, and yeah, from there I just met more friends and started going to jam sections, and yeah, I was able to make more friends.
And this is the time when we met, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was during that.
Also like these open
mic section or jam section.
Besides, like just like this open area that we went to always. And this is where we got to know each other. Yeah. And then we started talking.
Exactly.
And it immediately was fun talking to you though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you play bass?
Yeah, I do play bass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back home you went to church and they taught you that there.
Yeah, I did.
That's what I also love about that. It's a really beautiful image to have that, and that's why I also attended the church times when they went there and the ceremonies, and it was always fun though.
Yeah,
a few times they were like, come sing with us. I was like, I don't have the voice for it though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would say that church played a very big role in my life.
Yeah. I can see it in your presence.
Yeah, like it played when I mean a very big role, and I would say that I'm happy and I'm also lucky at the same time to come up from a family that really cared, for the home training, all of that. So my parents made sure that we all passed through that experience.
Nice.
As little as we were, we always spending more time in the church and all of that. And it is also like an environment where you learn a lot of things. You learn how to sing in public. You learn, if you're interested in any particular instrument, you just go there and they teach you. And it also helps you to build your kind of confidence, because I could remember then I was also a member in church. I was a member of a member in choir, sorry, I mean to say. So then we sing in public, we come out from the congregation and present special numbers and all of that. So with those kind of experiences, you might think it's just more like maybe you're doing it for the meantime, but at some point in your life you realize the fact that you're facing public is nothing to you because you've had that experience while you were still growing up. So this is something that I really appreciate a lot, especially to my mom, for giving us that kind of experience, for me to pass through that stage of life. And
there's definitely will build up your confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the strong characters that go to church, and the way they talk and the way they want something from the children that are standing there.
That's
like
correct.
Being in that type of environment and already making everyone like you and believe in the things that you do is something amazing. That's one other thing that I always admire in so many cultures, that they have that they push their children from a very young age to be present.
That's right.
Like, and sometimes in my culture it's also because I think because of the war situation that we grew up in, it was like always very protective of the children. No, don't do this. No, don't do that.
That's right.
No, don't show yourself. No, it was more like that. So at a certain age, you would have to experience these things by yourself. But
that's right.
The sooner you experience, the better it is for you when you grow up.
That's correct. I mean, they try to build up this mentality that it should be like a home to you.
Yeah.
It should be like a place that you home and you have this sense of liberty and freedom to do what you want to do. You don't feel caged. Right, you don't feel that someone will judge you because of what you do or what the kind of lifestyle you're living.
Yeah.
It's a place that when you come, you meet people and who teach you as well. I mean, I won't say that I judge people who doesn't go to church. I won't say that I judge people or maybe I'm too religious. No, I wouldn't say that. But everybody have their own different things that they believe in and whatever that works for them, right? Everybody have different experiences, but I would say for sure that in my own situation, I learned a lot in church, and like 50% of my well-being, 50% of the things that I do in life right now, and the way that I see life, the way that I try to judge things, the way that I try to judge people in some certain things was built on the fact that the experience that I had while growing up and the teachings that I heard in church and even up to now, right? Basically, because I mean, at the end of the whole day, life is nothing without love. Life is nothing without showing some kind of attention to people out there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what people are passing through.
Definitely.
You wouldn't know what people are passing through, because for the fact that we wake up every morning and then smile at each other doesn't mean that things are going on well, because at the end of the whole day, you're just left with you and your thoughts.
Exactly.
You go back to your house and then you're being equipped.
You have to take the fight yourself. Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter who's surrounding you.
Exactly. So it's just that you've been a bit very sensitive for you to show concern to whosoever it is. It doesn't have to mean that you have something to gain from them, because unfortunately we find ourselves living in a world that people will only show concern to you when they have something to gain from you.
Yeah.
They will only show love to you. They will only smile at you when they look like, okay, I think it's gonna be like an asset to me and stuff like that. Exactly, but it shouldn't be like that.
No.
You shouldn't just place your care. You shouldn't place your attention based on a particular price tag. There shouldn't be a price tag to it. Basically.
Should be just genuine love.
Exactly. Show love, and because it takes just a word to pull someone up from their depression state or whatever they are passing through. Just a word, for example, I love you, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. I just called to check up on you. I'm texting you to know how you're doing. You wouldn't know how things like this could pull some people up from their particular state, because you feel alone, you feel rejected, you feel that you're just alone in your own world and nobody cares about you. But when you have this one person who would text you randomly and say, "Hi, how you doing? I just wanted to check up on you," it means a lot. That's it creates some sense of well-being to you, that you be like, okay, I think somebody cares about me. Yeah.
It's very true what you said.
Yeah.
But I made the experience. It also depends on how the other person has grown up, what the background is. Sometimes just asking them, "Hey, how are you doing? Hey, you good? Hey, I love you." Like this is still not enough for them, because there's missing something else in their life.
Exactly.
What I want to express is, when I met you, I instantly felt the energy of that I can be more of myself and not like be thinking the whole time, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe I should,
exactly.
because there's the energy that we
right.
are all energy, so our soul is there present, and we perceive the people around us. So but there are some people, like, you have to be more careful about the words that you pick and talk to them about, and at the end it's their decision if they really want to come out of the situation that they're in.
Right.
So for example, I can imagine that if you're down, I would just texting you, you'll be laughing, because the way you grew up is different.
Exactly. The experience is different.
Yeah, the mindset is very different.
That's right.
It's the same thing for me. Like when I'm down, I know that there's something good out there, and I'm trying my best to get back to the place where I am, because it's my own responsibility to do it. I cannot always depend on someone to do it for me.
That's right.
But there are so many people out there where you try to uplift them with so many positive things, and if you say one negative thing, they're just like, okay, now you ruined my whole day.
That's it. Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, because
that's right.
It's a part of the human nature to say something maybe negative, or to criticize them in a certain way. Because I always say, if I criticize you like in a way that might be beneficial for you, you shouldn't take it as something negative. You should actually take it as something, because it shows that I'm caring about you, and that I want you to get better at some things.
Yeah.
But there are some people, they don't want to be criticized at all, which is then when you put your energy in it the whole time, at some point you're like, just, you know what? Maybe you need to keep going first. Until you're at that point.
Yeah, and also I want to say this. I do tell most of my friends, I would say that I think it's very nice, and it's actually very good for us to be careful of the words that we use to people, especially when you're not used to them. Because a lot of people are very, very sensitive to words, that the way you might react to what somebody tells you might not be the same way somebody else might react to the same word, right? Basically. So it all depends on paying attention to your choice of words, because it's really, really important. You might tend to say just one word to you, you didn't mean it that way, but to the other person, that word might stick to their heart for a very longer time, like for days, and they're thinking about this, and does it really mean that maybe I'm not good enough or something like that? So until you get used to someone, until you get attached to someone, until you feel very comfortable around someone, it is always very, very advisable for you to mind the kind of things that you say to people.
Definitely, yeah.
Because, there's a lot of things going on in this world right now that we are into, and there's a whole lot of pressure out there. There's a whole lot of issues. There's a whole lot of mental breakdowns that people are passing through stuff. So, like I mentioned earlier before now, that you see somebody like smiling all the whole time doesn't mean that the person is happy. No, it doesn't it doesn't signify that this person is happy all the while. No, basically they might be passing through some kind of dark side, dark secret side that they don't want to like.
They're also strong enough to keep smiling. That's a good thing.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just that just be careful of the words I use to people. until you feel very comfortable around them, then you could, be free and know the kind of things that might trigger them or not.
Yeah.
So I think it's very right. We have this at the back of our minds. Yeah.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
on that note, how many siblings do you have?
So I have 5 siblings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have 5
Okay.
siblings. Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah, exactly. I have 5 siblings. We're in total 6 in number, 5 boys and just 1 girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
She has to be very strong, right?
She's very precious.
She
man.
will kick you all down, probably.
Yeah, she's and she's the last and
Okay, the youngest then.
The youngest, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. She's the youngest. So
Which number are you?
I'm the 4th.
The 4th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just
So you're
well,
the guy between that doesn't matter.
exactly, man. Like, yeah, I'm just the 4th. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's yeah.
So your parents, obviously, with a religious background, taught you a lot of good things and positive things.
Yeah.
Which area did you grow up? Like, how was the environment?
Okay. Yeah, I think first of all, I would say that I didn't come out from a rich family. I didn't come out from a poor family. Right. I was just in between the middle
class,
like a middle class.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the right word to use. So I grew up in a very competitive environment where we find ourselves in a mixed place that you have kids from a rich home and you're there and there are some things you cannot really afford and all of that. But I think we are able to maintain our stability in the sense that we are not kind of moved by the things that we saw around us, and we are not being pressured to probably go stealing or try to do something that that would make us feel among the whole group of a thing, whatever. So in the environment that I grew up in, I would say that it was just more like a normal environment for all of us, and coupled with the fact that my mother was very strict on us, I would say, in a positive way. She made us understand the fact that whatever you cannot afford, you don't have to crave for it.
Yeah.
Right, at that moment.
Which is beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely, before you should crave for something, you have to struggle for it. And what's the struggle there? You have to read your books, you have to focus on your studies.
Nice.
Because that was the mentality, right? So if you think that, okay, look at these kids, they are rich and they can afford whatever they want to afford and whatever they want to buy at that moment. So you just have to then sit down, focus on your studies, decide on yourself that you wouldn't be like this. You wouldn't have to pass through the same stage that you're passing through right now. You wouldn't allow your kids to also pass through the same experience, because that's also my kind of mindset, even as I am right now. I wouldn't want my kids to pass through this experience that I had while growing up. I wouldn't want them to lack nothing. I wouldn't want them to just manage, just float,
Yeah.
Basically, if you want to get something, you cannot afford it because at that moment you don't have the resources to get them. So I think
crave for the materialistic
exactly
things. Yeah.
Exactly. So I imagine myself in the future where I should be able, at least at some point, to provide for my family and make my kids comfortable, because like I mentioned, I don't think I would want them to pass through the same stage and the same experience that I was able to pass through growing up.
Nice.
So yeah.
So when I grew up, my mom taught me a lot of things, and I wasn't always an easy child because I was always making fun of the things.
Yeah.
So at some point I told her, like, Mom, I think I would listen more to you if you have an African accent.
You did? Oh, okay.
She was always like, my son, just go to your room. Like, life is not easy with you.
Yeah.
I wonder how you will be as a father. I was like, I will be loving and caring, but I will always tell them, don't push me to the position where I will just tell you very easily, like straight to my child, I can reproduce you.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I think my life, the way I will like, or the way I want life to be, because at some point in my life, my parents just told me, because I was taking so many things too emotional, that's why I was also a part where got depressed, and they told me like life is much easier than the way you think it is.
Exactly.
So, and I started to make much more fun about the things
That's right.
around me, and that's how I surpassed like the bullying time in school when I was like a child. And that's why I think I used to be also funny as a child, and then there was a time where I was completely down, and then just came back and just make fun of everything. So I'm telling always myself, once I have children, I will tell them the best way possible to look out for themselves.
That's right.
And not just pay attention to what other people have.
Exactly.
My parents always taught us there are so many different cultures, religions, and they never told us like these people are this color, they're this color, you should perceive them like this. They will always like be respectful because you don't know what people are going through.
That's right.
And don't steal, don't lie, just be honest. And this is a curse and a most wonderful thing ever that you can have, because the curse in it, you come into a world where everyone thinks in a very different way. Like you said before, they look at you, how can this person be an asset to my life? So this is how I don't look at the people. I just look at the people like good energy. Let's just vibe and have fun.
That's right. That's right.
The curse in that is you sometimes, especially as a child, you grow up to believe certain things around you because you've been taught like that.
Exactly.
But once you pass that, and that's the most important thing, to be alone by your own, to get to know these hectical moments in your life or chaotic moments, to pass them.
Yeah.
So how often do you see your parents now?
I mean, the last time that I saw them was literally when I left Nigeria. I would say that was 2 years ago, basically. So, but we are actually in contact. I mean, I speak with them every other day on the phone, and also my siblings as well. I'm always in contact with them because we have a very good relationship.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel homesick. It's normal. It's basically normal. But I'm in contact with them. We have a very close relationship, and I also have plans of going to visit them someday. Yeah, basically when I'm done with my shit here, when I'm done with my activities and my studies a little bit, then I could just go and visit them.
Okay.
It's not more like I have this burning desire to leave and go to Nigeria and see them. Exactly. Yeah. No. Everything has more like it's a step. It's in layers, basically. So I think when the time comes, I will definitely go and visit them.
Nice.
Yeah, I would.
So, what do you do exactly for the people out there? You play instrument, and you're a writer, right?
Good question, actually.
I don't know myself.
Yeah, the thing is, how would I put it? Okay, so basically, apart from the fact that I play bass guitar, I also write poems.
Yeah.
But I stopped writing poem. I mean, I think for 4 years right now, I stopped writing.
Why?
For no reason, actually, I would say. But I still have my journals where I wrote down everything. I would say basically that I got distracted at some point because, I mean, I know that basically most of the times my poems are more of the expression of my emotions and what I've experienced over time, basically. So at some point I had no time for it. I was literally no time for it because I got busy with work then. I got busy. I got a lot of things that I was actually handling, so I didn't pay attention to it, basically. But it's still somewhere there, like it's still inside of me, basically. And what else? Of course, I have a job that I'm doing basically that is supporting me as a student that I am, and I'm studying at the same time. And basically, I also do things that makes me happy.
Nice.
That's very important. That's really, really important for me because I know that I own my own happiness. I mean, there's a lot of pressure out there. Like sometimes you be like, oh my God, it's like you're burning out. You're drowning and all of those things. But I try to find little time for myself and pay attention to my own
which
happiness.
is necessary.
Yeah, which is very, very important for me at the same time.
It's like a therapy session for you to stay positive.
Exactly, man, because there's a whole lot of things that I'm just doing, and at the same time I'm also learning German, because basically you're in Germany, so why not? You should like try to learn the language.
How's it going with the language?
It's, bro, I would say it's pretty difficult, basically. But I just know the fact that I was able to understand the fact that once you have interest on it, once there is interest, and once you have your mindset attached to it, you should be able to at some level achieve whatever you want to achieve. And that's my that has been my goal, actually, because I just want to learn the language. It's not really about living in Germany. Is the fact that it's something that I feel is a skill that you should add to whatever that you have. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
I said it on a different episode. Well. My grandpa always told us, doesn't matter where you are, learn the language.
Exactly.
Because it's like a weapon.
That's correct.
And if you don't know it, you will lose the war.
Yeah.
I think he came up with this reference because we used to grow up in war. That's why,
okay.
I think but it's right. It's like a weapon. If you don't know, you can't say anything.
That's right.
So imagine you work somewhere and they're like, you did this mistake. No, this was wrong, and actually you didn't do it. You will not be able to defend yourself.
Express yourself. Yeah, it's very important.
So that's why it's important to know the language. Yeah. Doesn't matter where you are. I was in, I think also I said it before, I was in China for 2 months and in Russia also. So at that amount of time, I learned a few basic things.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say a few things. Exactly. And to have the people around you to look at you different. Because if you go there and say nothing at all, you're just like...
Exactly. I mean, I've had this couple of experiences that I'm out there and I'm in the midst of friends and they're all speaking German, and sometimes you meet someone that you really want to talk to, for instance, and they can't even speak English, for example. You'd be like, oh my God, what should I do right now?
Sign language.
Exactly. I've had this awkward experience. I would say sometime like earlier when I moved to Berlin, I was having a conversation with a girl, basically, and she does say she doesn't speak German, and I had a date with her, actually. We had a date.
She doesn't speak German?
She doesn't speak English.
English, okay.
She doesn't speak English, basically. So we had a date, and I could remember we went for a date.
How did it go?
I was sitting and she was sitting. All the while for over 1 hour, we were just texting
what? Like with translator or what?
Bro, I oh my God, it was actually a very funny experience. Like, I would text something and I would show her, she would text something.
Nice experience though.
Oh my God. Like, for over 1 hour, we didn't say anything. We were just busy. Anybody coming in there will be like, what are you guys doing? Basically.
They thought these generations are like...
Oh my God. Basically, we're just communicating.
Nice, via text. It was interesting though.
It wasn't really interesting.
Why didn't you just show pictures?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just show Google for pictures? Like, this is what I actually want to express.
No, actually. So not.
So you didn't do this?
What's that?
You didn't do this?
No. There was other expressions, but my point is the fact that I've had a lot of experiences that I felt really, really awkward. That I can't actually communicate, and I think
we encountered the situation often. I mean, you don't know how to express yourself towards me now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we English speakers have been lucky to find ourselves in Berlin, where it's more like an international community. You could easily find 10 out of 20 people speaking English, and you could actually easily communicate. And I mean, what happens when you find yourself outside of Berlin?
It's a bit harder though.
Exactly. For example, you're going there for a job or for something, and then where you have older generations, because outside of Berlin, there are some cities that you have more than predominantly older generations. How would you communicate with them? So these are the facts that I try to, put in my mind and said, okay, I think it's very necessary for me to know the language at least at some point, not just being a professional, but being able to express yourself and also hold a very good conversation with it. So it's
Definitely.
yeah.
So do you still attend some
Classes?
some like African cultural happenings in Berlin?
Why not? I mean, of course,
No,
of
I mean, like,
course.
do you found some spaces where you can go
Mm-hmm.
to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. Sometimes there are some events that happens here in Berlin, and for example, last weekend there was an event that was hosted here in Berlin. It's called Afro Festival.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Afro
yeah,
Festival. Yeah, I mean, basically when you go there, you see they play African music and some cousins as well. And not only that, sometime in summer there is always like an African fest here in Berlin.
yeah.
You know, it happens all the time and all of that. So these are some of the events that when I go there, I feel very connected. I feel at home. You know,
Yeah.
you get to hear music, your cultural music. You get to see your brothers, and you speak the same language and all of that. It makes you feel home and all of that. So basically, yeah, there's some events like that that happens here in Berlin, and yeah, I
What
enjoy going
I'm
them
what
a
I'm
lot.
also interested about is because every time when we have some sessions,
Mm-hmm.
I never see you dance.
Oh.
So do you dance at these events? Do you know any African dance?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a very good dancer,
Ah, okay.
basically. Yeah. By
That's
nature,
weird though.
I'm a very chill, calm guy,
Yeah, I know
basically.
that you are.
Yeah, I'm a very chill guy, but sometimes when I'm in the mood to dance, I dance. When I'm in the mood to express myself in dance, I do that, but I rarely dance in public, like,
Because
I
the
really
one
do
of the
that.
things that I loved about attending these events with my
Yeah.
friends back home, it was going there, and I was always a part of the dance culture there.
Yeah,
Like
there
the
is.
African dances were so
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just different the way you move and do the
Exactly.
things. A few
Yeah.
times approached you, I was like, "Come on, dance." You're like, "No." Yeah, man, this
Yeah.
guy is not black though.
Yeah. No. There's. I mean, basically, everybody knows. Everybody knows at least a little bit of the cultural dance. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a normal thing for us, but basically, when you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to do it. Nobody's gonna force you to do it.
Like in
Yeah.
my culture, we have this dance that we do,
Mm-hmm.
and I love every type of dancing. So I just go and say, okay, how was it done? And then
Yeah.
because there's sometimes music that you listen to, you have to move to it.
That's correct.
I don't know how you can hold yourself back. I don't know how it's
Yeah.
possible for some people to do. Like, I understand, but like in my mind is like, how is it possible? But I know
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah.
possible.
That's right.
Because when
That's
I
right.
go, I don't like clubs.
Oh, really?
No, I don't like clubs.
Wow.
I don't like
Okay.
to go into clubs and drinking and partying. I rather have a home party,
Mm.
which is much more connected and you have more time to enjoy the things. But I don't like going to clubs and
So would you say it's more like an experience? You had a bad experience, or it's just like a decision for you that you don't
no,
like
I was
going?
never interested though.
Okay.
I was never interested in clubs, and especially where at a certain age I used to work at a club,
Mm.
and seeing it from the other side, it was much more confirmation for me that I don't like clubs. Like
Okay.
it was just never a thing for me to be like, oh, this weekend we're gonna go partying.
Mm.
It was always like, okay, and
Yeah.
friends of mine always forced me to
Mhm.
go along.
Yeah.
And you can ask them. I looked like a bouncer. I was just standing at a corner. Like
Yeah.
they,
I actually I understand that feeling, right? I understand that feeling of you not, liking the idea of going to club,
well, it's just the
basically.
environment. It's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. I think sometimes, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think sometimes it's about age. There would come in your life at a particular age that you will get to, you might see going to club as a waste of time. You might probably decide to invest your time to something else than
Mm.
just going to club, or you might just go there rarely, like not really in a year. You might just go to club like 3 times. I think I have that similar mindset. Yeah, basically, I go to parties on special occasions on when I feel like I want to go to. It's not like it's something that I have to do all the whole time. because literally time is very important. Time is very limited, and of course there's a lot of things for you to do, and you find yourself going to club and you stay. Most times you go there and you're being bounced out. You know,
just in front of the door. No, not you.
that's the horrible experience. Like you dressed up from your home and you're going there to spend your money, and you get there and you're being bounced out. And sometimes when you gain the entrance, you're dancing all the whole day, and the next morning you're back to your normal world. You're back to your normal life. You know, basically. So I would say it's just something that I do once in a while. I would rather invest my time to something else than just going to club. You know, it's not like a bad thing for me. I enjoy going to club, you know, when I feel like, but I don't usually do it all the time. It's just once in a while.
So I partially agree on that. It's about age, but and I get to that. But the other side is, I don't think it's about age.
Okay.
I think it's about what's in your DNA and how you truly are yourself. Because I have friends, I know them since I was 16, and now they're about 36, 37, and they go every weekend till now. I think it's just about what you're really interested in. For me, I was never interested in, I'm also not interested into going to like cinema and watching a movie in a cinema, and like, I know so many people who they're like, no, this is the best experience. You go there and then you have these seats, you have the popcorn, and I was never interested in these things. I think it's about a personal preference of the things. For some people, it's about at a certain age they start to think different. But for me, it was always like, it's a waste of time if I go there. So
yeah,
at that time when I had friends who were going to the clubs, I was home and I thought to myself, I'd rather be at home and paint, or I'd rather be at home and do some music.
Yeah.
So at the end, we made a deal. Okay, on your birthdays, I will come with you guys to the club. We can have that. And besides of that, just leave me out of it, because I don't want to be a part of that.
Exactly.
And I think I like to make the parties at home much more because I grew up with that mentality. My parents always used to have like parties at home. And inviting friends, inviting family. Even when we moved to Germany, my parents got to know a lot of people, like Kurdish people, and they wanted to stay connected with the culture, also because of us as the children, to have this mental state. Okay, this is our culture, this is what we do,
right?
These are the events that we have. So I think this is why that's why I like it much more to be
at home
and at home, have the party there.
Yeah,
because it was much more connected. You were able to talk to everyone.
That's right.
Make some fun, and then at some point, like, started dancing, having the music, set up the mood.
Yeah, I think
instead of going to the club and drinking shots after shots, and
exactly.
then and just the people are like, this next song is my shit. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, I think the idea of I say the ideology of you having the mindset that maybe going to club is a waste of time, or the reason why I mentioned it was at about age, is that I've been opportune to have conversations with a lot of friends who are in their 30s, for example, like a lot of them, and I always get the same thing. You know, you hear some of them telling me that, okay, they've spend most of their time in their teenage age going to club.
Wow.
You know, that they most of them tell you that they spend like days in club, like, you know, this 24 hours straight, and you're just clubbing all the while.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more like they tell you that right now, at this point in their life, they think it's just they've seen it all. You know, basically they've had the feeling, they have had the experience. Right now, it's just more like they want to switch. And having this mentality and the mindset that when you're going to club, you're just going there to waste your time. You know,
this is like an European thing that I paid attention to, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you come from different countries, especially like from the Asian part or from the African part,
that's right.
Their mindset is very different on that.
That's right.
But when you have been born here and grew up with the European mentality, this is what they do. That's why so many of them also get married and have children at their, I don't know, late 30s, and around 40 they make their first child or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the mental state of them, how they've been taught, how they've been programmed.
Exactly.
It's like,
The experience.
I don't know if I told you this story. Once my father told me about the first human being in front of God.
Okay.
Have I ever told you that?
No.
Because like at some point I was thinking about it, and then I was like, okay, now I kind of understand why Europeans do that. It was like the first human being was like in front of God, and God told him, I will give you 30 years to live. And then the human being was like, God, like 30 years is nothing. Like I've started to see something now, I will eventually die, which is like nothing for me. So God said, okay, stand on the side. And then he called in the dog. And he said, I'll give you 30 years. And the dog was like, this is way too much for me. Like, give me 10 years is enough for me.
Okay.
And then God looked at the human. He was like, there you got 20 plus. And then after that was the donkey. And then God again said, I will give you 30 years to life. And then he was like, way too much for me. 10 is enough. And God looked at the human again. You got another 20. And then the monkey came in. And again, the same thing. And the monkey said, God, you didn't make me very beautiful. So I think with that face, 10 years is enough. So God, again, looked at the human who was like, another 20 years. And if you look at life, like most people, the first 30 years, they just live. They just try to figure out things.
Exactly.
And then after that, they become the dog. They have to run behind everything. Oh, no, I need to do this. Oh, no, that. Like... And then you have a family and you become the donkey. Like you have to carry a lot of things with you the whole time, like for the family, provide. And then you get old and you look like the monkey. So this is when I think I was 18 when my father told me that story. I was like, wow, okay, now I understand why certain people live a certain way. Maybe it's in our like DNA again.
Yeah,
So it was a very interesting thing. So right. Don't worry about your life until you. How old are you now?
So in 1 week I'll be 32.
32. Yeah. Okay, now you're already in the dog years.
Yeah, something like that.
What is your sign?
Aries.
Aries.
Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah.
Me too.
Aries, man. What dates are you?
Today is what? It's the 9th, on the 10th, so tomorrow.
Your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My birthday is on 16th.
16th?
Yeah, next week Tuesday, yeah.
So this is my other birthday, because since I'm born, they've been telling me, I don't know, something went wrong at the hospital. And now I have 2 birth dates. So one is on the 10th. And the other one is on the 16th.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm asking till today. I'm like, I need some documents to verify which one is mine now. And even the documents that I saw, I wasn't sure of it. So since I'm a child, I'm celebrating sometimes from the 10th till the 16th through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So all the other birthdays of my siblings are right, but mine, I don't know. Something went wrong.
Maybe you're special, bro.
That's what I'm saying, though. Since day one, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
So, how's life treating you besides of all these things? Like,
I mean, once you're living, bro, once you're alive, once you could feel the blood running through your veins, you would never escape life. You would never escape the struggles of life.
Yeah.
You know, even when you think that you have it all, even when you think that you're rich, at some point you might just be hit by one kind of illness that will just get you bedridden and you won't be able to save yourself even with the money that you have. So, I mean, so far so good. I would say that life has been good. I mean, sometimes it's all ups and down and all of that, but the least thing that you could ever do to yourself as a human being is not for you to allow whatever you're passing through, your circumstances to put you down. Because that's the goal of life, I would say. That's the main essence. Life wasn't really created to make you happy. life was not really created to put a smile on your face, but rather it makes you to pass through some kind of struggles, because if you're escaping from this, another one is out there waiting for you.
Exactly.
That's the way it's being planned. And the only way you could, escape through the whole pressure is just for you to keep on going, put a smile on your face, and try to make yourself happy, no matter how you
it's
think.
your responsibility to be happy.
Exactly. No matter how hard it is, because definitely it would never be easy for anyone. It will never be easy for you. You wouldn't just wake up one morning and all of a sudden you're getting everything all none. Never. It's just like in layers, one layers at a time, one step at a time. So once you escape this stage, there's another stage waiting for you. Once you escape that stage, there's another big stage waiting for you.
Yeah.
Basically. And there is no situation, there is no kind of issues that you might be passing through that somebody somewhere has not actually passed through the same stage.
Of course. We are all
Sometimes
reflections of each other.
exactly.
Somehow.
And sometimes you feel like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. This is the end of it. I want to give up, and I just want to, I just want to end it all. But basically, somebody was able to pass through the same stage.
Definitely.
I know it's not easy. Sometimes it's just more like it's easier said than done. It's very easier for you to say these things. And when you are actually in that stage of your life that you feel like, oh my God, I don't know my left from my right. I don't know who to run to. I don't know who to call for help. Then you will understand the reality of life.
Yeah.
Basically. But it all boils down to mindset. It all boils down to your subconscious mind. Whatever word that it's that you hear inside of you that tells you all the time that you cannot make it, you just have to find a way of fighting that word.
Just keep going.
Keep going. That's the main thing, man. Keep going. Keep doing your thing, and don't be lazy.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
Definitely. Don't wait.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The worst thing that you could ever do to yourself is for you to be lazy and also deceive yourself. Like you just fold your arms and say everything will be fine, and then you do nothing about it. Okay, fine and good. You're passing through pains. I mean, what are you doing about it? Like, what are you doing? What step are you taking about it? Or you wouldn't just sit down in the comfort of your home, sleeping all the day, spending time, wasting time, and then you feel that miracle is gonna happen. Like, no, you need to wake up, bro. You need to do something. No matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult you think that you'll be able to, push through, just do something, bro. Just do something, basically. And yeah, once you put in your work, and then I see it moving on, man.
I respect all the people, everyone, because they all live their own lives, and like we said before, like no one knows what the other one is going through.
That's right.
But I always say, if you're living in a country like in Germany or in Europe overall, in general, you always have a chance to keep going and to do something.
That's right.
If you live in an environment where it's like all war and there's absolutely no opportunity, you're just in survival mode. That's it.
Yeah.
But if you're in a country like here, you should always keep going and do the best out of it. But there are some people who have expectations of life. The expectation is like they're not working for it, and they're putting everything in God's hands.
Exactly.
They say, if the right time comes, God will give me that. God will give it to you.
Yeah.
When you work for it, when you go for it.
Exactly.
But if you just sit and do nothing about it and just do the prayers,
it's not a movie. It's not like it's not a movie that you're watching. No.
Yeah. I always say it's not like some people, when I talk to them, I was like, you're not on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's not a script that you have in your hand.
That's right.
You're writing it yourself right now. No one gave it to you. So the best thing for you to do is now just to wake up tomorrow and do something about it.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, I know that God is looking out for me.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
That's right.
But for you to get to the next level, you will have to work for that.
Exactly.
If you don't, God is keep waiting for you. He has time.
Yeah.
But you don't have the time. So many people have this mindset which they should change about, okay, I will have to put the work in until I am deserving of what God is willing to give me.
Exactly.
Because I always say you won't receive it until you do put the work in.
That's right. That's right.
So, but of that topic, What are you currently working on? Are you doing anything with your music or with your poems?
When it comes to art, I would say right now I'm not doing anything actually, basically, because I'm not a full-time musician. I'm not a full-time artist. I mean, it's just something that I do just for fun. It's one of my hobbies actually, and that's why I tell people I don't do music full time. I literally don't see myself doing music for anything. I just do it when I feel like doing, basically.
I don't know. When I sometimes look at the images of you, they look like you're good made for the stage, though.
I know that. I know that feeling actually. I know that feeling. That's why at the same time I cannot do without music. You know, I can't do without it, but it's something that I just do for relief, basically. But apart from that, I'm actually working on my personal stuff. I'm working on my stability at the moment.
Okay.
That's very, very important to me, because at the end of the whole day, I just feel that, playing bass for event and concert wouldn't give me what exactly that I want. It wouldn't pay my bills, for example.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really come out the whole time. And that's why I'm not really focusing so much on this craft of mine, basically. So yeah, it's just more like a process, I would say. It's a step, one step at a time. And at the same time, I'm not pressuring myself. Like, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself that I need to do this, I need to do that. No. I've been able to set up a goal. I've been able to set up a particular thing that I want to achieve this year. And I'm really trying my possible best to achieve that particular goal. And I could see results, because it's one thing to make a decision, and it's another thing for you to work towards it. And it's also another thing for you not to deceive yourself, because a lot of people, when they say something, they'll be like you mentioned, you said maybe God would help you do this, God will do that, all of that. And then you're folding your arms. You're not doing anything about it. Exactly, you're not setting out the rules and all of that. You're not, being disciplined, because discipline is a big thing that people take for granted.
Definitely.
The word discipline is a very big thing. Like, you need to give up some things for you to achieve something, right? You need to give up some level of satisfaction. You need to give up some level of relaxation, because
comfort.
Exactly, because you cannot be very much comfortable. I don't think you'll be very comfortable, and then at the same time you change a particular situation. No. For you to have the hunger, exactly. For you to have the hunger and the motivation to change a particular thing, there should be some level of pain. There should be some level of discomfort. You should be tired of a particular thing. You should be tired of a particular level before you could think and say, okay, I think enough is enough. I need to do something. I need to move to the next step. But when all things are being rosy, you're comfortable doing all of those things, you wouldn't have the mindset that you want to change. No, you would never.
It's like if you're someone who's constantly watching TV.
Exactly.
You can't wait for a miracle to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not going to happen. You have to be out there. You have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think I also mentioned that when I used to move into my flat, I didn't have a living room.
Oh, wow.
It was just
bad, man.
What?
That's pretty bad, bro.
No. It was a good, because like what I want to express is it was a working space for me.
Okay.
Because I said, if I have a couch, if I have a TV, I would just have the TV on the whole time. And I would suddenly just go down and sit and say, yeah, let me take a break. And the break will take on 2 hours, 3 hours. And at the end of the day is just like you have done nothing. So what I had done is set up my studio, set up my painting area, and set up my like sewing area. So I was constantly being in the process of being creative. And this what made me comfortable. Because for me, comfort is when you do the things that you want to do and love.
Exactly.
If you're just sitting down, for me, this is very painful. If I just sit down and see the time passing by.
Yeah.
It makes me depressed. It makes me just want to fall asleep, because my brain is going on like autopilot. It's just like, okay, your life is basically means nothing. It's worthless.
That's right.
Because I always say we are here to create something.
Yeah.
You don't or leave something behind, not necessarily that is worldwide known, but
that's right.
You leave something behind for the next generation.
That's right.
You create something.
I also tell people that you are not in a competition with anyone.
besides yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, unfortunately, I would say like 30%, I would say 30% of people who are depressed, it's as a result of them trying to compare themselves with another person. Like for instance, you have a friend or you have friends who you all started together struggling at the same time, and then all of a sudden you see them up there and you're still there. You'll be like, what's my life? What am I passing through? Like, what's wrong with me? All of that, So when you decide to zero your mindset that you're in competition with anyone, then life becomes a little bit easier for you, because then you know that you're doing your best as a person. You're in competition with your person. You have to take up the challenge to change your situation than trying to compare yourself with another person, because at the end of the whole day, everybody have different grace.
Yeah.
Everybody have different motions in life. Everybody have different energies that controls them. Basically. So when your own time comes, then it happens. But at the same time, you don't have to fold your arms and wait till your own time comes.
Definitely.
You have to go for it. You have to pursue it, basically. And how do you pursue it? It's by definitely working towards whatever you want to achieve, basically. So if one door should close, definitely another door should open. That you tried the first time and you failed, and then you try the second time and you fail, doesn't mean that you have to like probably give up and say that you're useless or you worthless or you have not enough. Basically, no, you have to, keep on doing your thing. It's called consistency. Like keep on doing whatever you want to do, and also believing in whatever you worship. If you're worshiping God, you have to pray hard about it. If you're worshiping whatever you believe in, you also have to, just pray about it.
It's your thing. Just do that. Exactly. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as it's doing you good.
That's right.
And you're able to smile every day.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. I got to know someone. He was much older than me, and he was a coach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he went through my things. And then he was like, I feel like you're holding yourself back.
Wow. That's what he said to you?
Yeah. Like without really talking to me.
Okay.
He was just looking at my things, my art and my music and stuff. He was like, I feel like you're holding yourself back. And I asked, how so? He's like, because the things that you do are a different personality of you than the one that is standing in front of me.
Wow.
And I feel like that there's something that you have grown up with that is like holding you back to go to the next step.
I see. Okay.
Whatever it is, you have to let it go.
That's right.
Otherwise, you won't be able to keep this and grow with this. Like, you won't be able to express this. No one will notice. No one will notice you and the things that you do. He was like, I recommend that you sit down every day and just write down. It doesn't matter what comes to your mind. And after that, what you do is you repeatedly write for 3 pages.
Okay.
I'm great. I can do this. And I'm here and I manifest it. He was like, just write these things down over and over again. Because you're brainwashed with something in your life which your subconscious know about, but your conscience doesn't know.
Wow.
So this helped me to grow. And when I tell these things to other people, I'm like, try this. They're like belittling it, or they just smile about it, like, fuck, like, just writing down these things will change my mind. I'm like, yeah, because if you remember when you went to school, when you wrote the things down, it's just proven fact. If you write things down, it will get more stuck in your head.
That's right.
Than just like watching something. Even with the lyrics that I do, like I write them, and if I want to keep them, which I sometimes mess up those stuff, like I keep rewriting them, and then it will stuck much more in my head than just like reading it.
That's right.
And people are like, yeah, but I'm reading quotes. Isn't that enough? No, you have to rewash your brain again to become a different person again.
That's right.
So yeah, for me, I did it then for I think 6 months.
Wow.
I think I wrote about a few hundred pages just down, just random stuff. It was like the moment you wake up, write. Before you go to sleep, write. When I did that, like, I was much more able to fall asleep easily.
Wow.
Because everything was out. So I was writing, let's say, for 10 minutes. It was like, it doesn't matter how you write. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be nice.
Just write.
Just write. So it's off. And you feel much better. And I fell asleep much quicker. Unfortunately, I stopped doing it because of life and things that I'm doing, but I want to take it up again. And it helps you to perceive the things in life very different. So we had a few interruptions, but nevertheless, it was an amazing session with you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we finally made it. I think we were writing back and forth for 2-3 weeks now.
There was no time.
Yeah. But it was amazing to have you. I'm happy that you finally made it. And anything that you want to say, add at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that first of all, I feel very honored for you giving me this space at all to come over here to share minds together and discuss as well. I mean, because like you mentioned, you said you've had this dream of having a podcast for a very long time, and I'm glad I'm being part of this journey of yours as well.
I'm thankful that you are a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
And things like this is what I also enjoy doing. Basically, like I mentioned, at some point you might just have a section where you could invite more people and just discuss random topics.
Yeah.
I just feel very honored. Like I mentioned, I'm able to be here and have this discussion with you. And I really enjoyed every section. I really enjoy everything that we discussed here, and
thank you.
It's nice, and also thanks to DNA as well, because I mean, without DNA, I think this wouldn't be possible for you having the platform and also even having this space as well to invite people for them to come over and talk about their life experiences and their mindset about different things and different topics about life. And they
say some things that you express into the universe at some point it will come to life. So I feel like this was meant to be done this way, and that we meet at DNA, or me and DNA meet together, and that we do this thing and becoming a part of it. And I think one of the first things was interesting for me. It was called DNA, which I already the name. I love it, and got to know the people. And everyone was very kind, or is. And for them to give me the space to be able to connect it to all these people is a wonderful thing for me too.
That's right.
So thank you for being here again.
You're welcome, bro.
And we're going to link your Instagram down there.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to annoy him with questions, just reach out.
No worries, man.
Thank you.
Worries. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's on, bro.
Yeah,
thank
you.
Yeah.
And we see you on the next one. And this is Jear Perry. This is
Chi.
Chi.
Chi's better.
Chi Dialaekwe. Yo, see you next time.
Yeah, see